Hey guys, what is up? My name is Landon and welcome to the Jersey Zone. So for today's video, I wanted to take a look at something that I saw on the Canadian NHL site the other day that kind of made me a little bit angry and definitely shocked me quite a bit. Now, if you guys don't live in Canada or you've just never compared the American NHL shop to the Canadian one, you might not know that the American side has a lot more things on its site than that Canadian counterpart. For example, with the Reverse Retro 1.0 series on the American site, they had like Reverse Retro banners and just other merchandise kind of with that Reverse Retro branding to it that I thought was really cool. However, that stuff never appeared on the Canadian site, or at least I couldn't find it at any point. And it's just quite disappointing as a hockey fan in Canada, because there's definitely a lot of stuff that I would buy on that American site if they were on the Canadian side, but since they are on that American side, I just really can't bring myself to it. Now, the American site does have shipping to Canada. It can ship to me. However, it gets expensive really quickly. Obviously, it does have that American conversion rate, so the American dollars going to Canadian dollars, which is already quite a bit. And then on top of that, you have the shipping, which is usually like $16 or $17 American. And then also with duties as well, it just gets expensive really quickly. And unless I'm buying like a ton of things, it's really just not worth it. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about in this video. That's not what I found that was disappointing, because I have known about that stuff for quite a while, obviously, going back to that Reverse Retro 1.0 series. The stuff that I wanted to talk about today was the Reverse Retro 2.0 series release in Canada. So of course, the Reverse Retros this time around were released on November 15th. That is when they went up for sale, both on the Adidas site and the NHL shop as well. With all the other sites, they had to wait until November 20th or something like that. Doesn't really matter. So with the Reverse Retros though, on the Canadian site, they were supposed to be released on November 15th, and they were. However, it was only the Canadian teams on the Canadian side. You could not buy American teams on the Canadian site at all, which was really disappointing. And the strange thing is that on the Canadian site, you could buy the Reverse Retro Seattle Kraken hat, but you could not buy the jersey. And like I said, there was no other American teams available, no hats available for the American teams, only the Kraken and only their hat. And I thought that was quite strange, but you know, at the time I was like, whatever, I really don't buy from the NHL shop anyways. You can still get the American teams from the Adidas site. So I really thought nothing of it. I was just a little bit confused and went along with my day. I was like, whatever. Then about a week goes by and I'm checking the hockey jersey subreddit like I usually do, and I see that someone made a post that the NHL shop in Canada finally has American teams. And I think to myself, oh, well, that's good at least. At least they finally put them up. You know, it took them a lot longer than I think it should have, but they got them out there. Doesn't really matter. However, it also said in that post that they're going up for $300. And so when I saw that, I was like shocked. I was like, there's no way they have them up for $300. So I went to the site, I checked myself, and lo and behold, there they were, the American jerseys on the Canadian site for 301 Canadian dollars. Now, the regular price for these jerseys is $210, which is even up from just the regular price of $200. They added an extra $10 on these Reverse Retros because the NHL just knew they could. They knew that the Reverse Retros were going to sell well, so I guess they just upped the price because they knew it didn't matter anyways. But then just adding an extra $90 for those American teams just really completely shocked me. I found it quite embarrassing, honestly, for the league, and it just really feels like they're ripping off their fans with these jerseys here. Now, we can already just make the argument that if the jerseys are worth $200 or not. For me, I really don't think these jerseys are worth $200. I don't think the quality is really quite there for it being $200, which is the reason why I usually don't buy my jerseys full price. I pretty much always get them on sale or find them for just a little bit off, as much as I can at least. And that's all just me talking about the blank jerseys. If you get a customized jersey, it's going to be $380. So that is $120 more than those Canadian teams, which, like I said, is just completely embarrassing. At least it looks embarrassing to myself. It feels like they're just ripping off their fans completely and just do not care about the Canadian fans at all. Now, one of the reasons the American jerseys are much more expensive than the Canadian ones is because they do ship out of America and duties are included with that price point. So I guess that is a little bit of a positive, that someone buying these jerseys aren't going to get blinded by just duties when they get the jersey itself. So at least that is good. However, I did do a little bit of a calculation. I looked up online how much duties would be on these jerseys. Now, this is just a rough estimate, so it's not like it's 100% accurate, but the duties on these jerseys should be about $40 for a blank jersey and $45 for a customized jersey. So I don't know where this extra cost is supposed to be coming from, because it's not like it's supposed to be $50 shipping or anything like that, because I even put one of these jerseys into my cart and I saw how much shipping was, and it's still even an extra $13 for shipping. So I don't know where that extra $50 and $75 is supposed to be coming from. Either way though, I feel like it shouldn't matter, because at at least how I see it, they should have some of the stock in Canada already. I really don't get it. Obviously, they have a Canadian warehouse that houses all of their Canadian teams and everything like that. So how difficult would it really be to have some American teams in that warehouse as well? Obviously, you don't need to fully stock all of the American teams on the Canadian border. I get that doesn't really make sense, but it's not like Canada has a small hockey fan base, so I just really don't understand it. It's quite frustrating. Thankfully, I don't really buy from the NHL shop anyway, so it doesn't really affect me that much. And thankfully, I do buy from like Ben 8 Sports or just, somewhere on eBay is usually where I buy my jerseys. So thankfully, I don't have to deal with the NHL shop and their stupidity. It's a lot nicer that way. And now a funny thing is as I've been kind of keeping my eye on the NHL site, looking at these American jerseys, I've noticed they've actually reduced the price a couple of times on these jerseys already, which is very funny. Originally, these jerseys were at $301, then they were knocked down to $300, and now they're at $299. So they keep just going down like by $1 day after day. It's really strange. I don't really understand what they're doing here. So them continuously knocking down the price is just very funny to me. And I also found that they screwed up on a price of another jersey as well. So they had the Nashville Predators reverse retro Roman Josi jersey up for $320. That was yesterday. Today, they have fixed that price. It is now back to $378. So it's just a complete mess on the NHL Canadian site right now. I really just don't get it at all. But yeah, so the fact that these jerseys just keep fluctuating in price, I just find to be extremely embarrassing and extremely unprofessional as well. And it also just makes it feel like they don't care about Canadian fans at all. It's not like Canada is a small market, like I said before, and it's not like Canada doesn't have fans of US teams, like either people who were born in the States that moved to Canada, or either people who just saw an American team go on a run and are a fan of that team, whatever may be. And there's also a lot of people who are just like me, who just love collecting hockey jerseys, love collecting hockey memorabilia, and don't care about which team it's from because they just love the sport. So the fact that they have these jerseys up for $90 more than the Canadian teams, they also do have the reverse retro hats, I believe for like $10 more than the Canadian teams. I did want to mention that quickly as well, but the fact that they have this merchandise for the American teams and they have it up for so much more than the Canadian side, I just find it very, very embarrassing, and it makes me a little bit frustrated. I don't want to say angry because I'm not angry, but I am just quite frustrated. And like I said, it makes it feel like they don't really care about Canadian fans. But anyways, that was quite a big rant there. I apologize, but I kind of just needed to get that off my chest. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this in the comments down below. And if you guys like the video, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to follow me on my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok. Links are all in the description down below. But like I said, that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.